Hello aspirants, welcome to another session of the daily newspaper analysis, the daily Hindu newspaper analysis. Aspirants, the response on our first video has been good. Thank you for all the responses and I hope that the videos are helping you in your preparation. So coming to today's newspaper, in today's newspaper, firstly, we are going to start with a very important editorial that has come up. It is regarding the forest land restoration. Okay, it talks about the forest land restoration, it talks about the issues, it talks about what steps the government has taken both at the national level as well as the international level and the steps forward. So, we will put a simple mind map first of all. So, forest land restoration. First up, we look at the definition, what the definition is. Okay. Secondly, we look at what are the benefits. Okay, what the benefits are related to your FLR, that is your forest land restoration. Thirdly, we look at the efforts. Okay, we look at what the efforts have been made both at the national level as well as the international level. Lastly, we look at way forward. Way forward, we look at what are the steps that can be taken more to improve this condition. Okay, first of all, when we look at the definition about forest land restoration, the definition says that it is a planned process that aims to regain ecological integrity, okay, and enhance human well-being in deforested and degraded landscapes. Okay, so here the focus is both. Here the focus is both on ecology as well as anthropological benefits. Okay, so put it in a simple term, it is not just about planting trees, it is more than planting trees. It is about taking care of the future needs as well. Okay, so that is your definition of FLR. Moving on, we look at the benefits. Okay, when we look at the benefits given in the editorial, we divide it into two parts, that is ecological as well as anthropological. So, when we look at the ecological benefits, firstly, these forest lands, when we restore them, they will act as carbon sinks. Okay, forests are the major carbon sinks. Every year, the forest, they take up 2.6 billion tons of CO2. Okay, the carbon sinks that are present in the forest, they take up around 2.6 billion tons of the CO2 that is being emitted in the world. So when you restore this forest lands, what happens is there is additional carbon sinks that are created, and the additional carbon sinks will act to absorb the carbon dioxide that is present in the atmosphere. Secondly, when you look at it, soil fertility and water availability. Okay, so these forest restoration, you must be aware that what happens when there are trees. Okay, basically when you look at it, the trees, they prevent what? They prevent soil erosion as well as they promote soil fertility. Okay, so when you have these forest land again restored, there is additional soil fertility, there is additional growth of the biomes and all. Okay, so that is another issue here. One more important thing is it enhances agri-productivity. Okay, so restoring forest lands will enhance what? It will enhance your agricultural productivity. When agricultural productivity is increased, it will contribute to what? It will contribute to food security. Okay, food security. Since climate change is real, since climate change is happening, and since there is a lot of deforestation taking place, what normally happens is when there is destruction of these forests, the food security is in danger. Okay, we see a lot of reports that point out how much hunger is prevailing in this world. So restoring this will help us in food security. Now coming to anthropological. Okay, now when we look at the anthropological benefits, first of all, it increases the resource base. Okay, it increases the resource based for goods and services. When we look at it, the basic service provided by these forests are resources. Okay, when we consider the tribal, okay, when we consider the tribal people that inhabit in these forests, what is the main source? Okay, what are the main resources that the forest is providing them? The forest is providing them with minor forest produce. The forest is providing them with minor mineral resources that are important for their livelihood. Okay, so anthropological benefit, first of all, when we look at it, it increases the resource base. Secondly, it enhances rural economy. Again, it is the same point. Okay, it is the same point. When the resource base is increased, what happens is the rural economy, it grows and flourishes. Okay, for the rural economy, it is very important that the forest land is restored. Okay, these are your benefits of what? These are your benefits of your forest land restoration. Okay, I hope it is clear. Moving on, we look at the efforts. Okay, this forest land restoration issue has been taken up. Okay, it has been taken up from the long time. The UN specifically is very serious about it. So under UN Decade of Economic Restoration 2021, the decade has been the 2021-2030 decade has been declared as UN Decade of Ecosystem Restoration. Secondly, we have Bond Challenge, very important when it comes to your prelims perspective. Okay, Bond Challenge, India has joined this. Okay, and India has decided to increase its forest cover area under it. Okay, then in India, there are several schemes and policies that are running to increase the forest area in our country. Okay, first of all, we have compensatory afforestation. Okay, compensatory afforestation, this is a very old scheme. It is running around 20 plus years now. Okay, then we have National Mission for Green India. This is the latest one. I think this was announced in 2014. We have 8 missions, national missions. Among it, National Mission for Green India is one of it. Then we have Nagar Van. By Nagar Van, we are promoting what? Urban forestry. Okay, we are promoting urban forestry. By urban forestry, we mean what? We are promoting greenery around these housing complexes. Okay. Then we have Forest Fire Prevention and Management Scheme. This is run by the Forest Department of every states. Okay, then we have Green Skill Development Mission. Okay, this is part of your National Skill Development Program. Okay, so under it, the skilling. Okay, the skilling is related to the renewable energy. May it be the solar energy. Okay, or what are the types of forestry, or what are the types of afforestation that can be taken place. Okay, so this is taught in the Green Skill Development Mission. So yeah, as you can see that both at the national level as the international level, the forest landscape restoration is a serious problem, and various steps have been taken to address it. Now, going back, okay, so we are done with this, the benefits, we are done with the benefits definition, we are done with the efforts. Now, looking at way forward, okay, now going to way forward, when we look at it, one of the things that the government should be concentrate is that FLR must be implemented proactively. Okay, because the land under forest is degrading day by day. We see reports in every day in the newspaper that how the encroachment of forest land is being taking place. So the FLR, the forest landscape restoration, has to be taken up proactively. One important thing that we have to understand in FLR is that the basic is that diversity of trees. Okay, diversity of trees. In the editorial, they have pointed out how the Punjab, okay, how in Punjab the diversity of trees has helped in the good restoration of forest. Okay, basically what happens, see, when we look at FLR, FLR is mainly both ecological benefit as well as anthropological benefit. So when there is a diversity of trees, what happens is ecologically, when we look at it, the benefit is that when there is a diversity of trees, so the plants, okay, they are very they can adapt to different conditions there. Okay, the restoration efforts does not end up if we have multiple trees, multiple species of trees. If we have one varieties of trees, those one varieties of trees may be vulnerable to one type of weather conditions and they may die off. But when we have a diversity of trees, what will happen is the sustainability of those trees will be maintained. Okay, the FLR will be maintained there. And anthropologically, when there is diversity of trees, what happens is the natural resources that are available are diverse. Okay, the resources availability, the resource pool is varied and it is diverse. Right. So you have to know that one thing, that FLR mainly is based on the diversity of trees. Now, the way forward, first one we looked at was the it must be implemented proactively. Secondly, FLR must be durable against future challenges. Okay, FLR must be durable against future challenges. This is the same again what I said. Okay, so when there is diversity of trees, what happens is that the forest land will be, the forest landscape will be durable. It can sustain whatever the future environmental changes, okay, environmental changes or climate change that happens. The diversity of the tree will, the diversity of the forest will maintain that durability. Okay. Lastly, engaging all stakeholders. Okay, engaging all stakeholders. So by engaging all the stakeholders here, I mean that it is not just the forest department, it is not just the government that should be active in FLR. We should also consider the local needs. Okay, see, when we are looking FLR, when we are trying to restore these forest lands, one type of a tree cannot fit in all the locations of India because we have varied climatic conditions. Okay, so when I say that we should engage all the stakeholders, here I mean that the local needs, okay, what the local needs are, how the plant can sustain in such environment, what kind of plants can sustain in that environment should be looked after, and those local needs should be considered. That is what this article says, that is what this editorial says. So please look at it. Okay, please read, very important article. Next, moving on. So yesterday we had one sad news that came from Japan, that the Shinzo Abe, okay, he was shot at and he passed away. He has been an important leader when it comes to India. So our Prime Minister in today's newspaper, he has written one article as a tribute to Shinzo Abe. So there are few things that you have to consider. There are few things that you have to note when it comes to Shinzo Abe, because he had a special relation with India. First of all, in 2007, okay, in 2007 he addressed the parliament, okay, and this was the first time when QSD, that is your Quad Strategic Dialogue, okay. So we have Quad. Okay, Quad consists of 4 countries: US, Japan, India, Australia. Okay, so this 2007 was the first year when the building block, when the first talks of QST took place, that is Quad Strategic Dialogue. This was the first time it was mentioned in our parliament. Secondly, 2012, Shinzo Abe was re-elected and he came up with the term Abenomics. Okay, Abenomics is a theory. Okay, it is a philosophy of economics. Here, Abenomics means increasing government spendings. Okay, by increasing government spendings, what happens is you are increasing the money supply in the market. You are increasing the spendings on the infrastructure. Okay, so that was the basis of Abenomics. Then 2014. Republic Day parade, So Shinzo Abe, he was the first Japanese head of the government to ever visit India for a Republic Day parade. Okay, it was the first instances when a Japanese head of government was in India to attend the Republic Day parade. Then 2021 Padma Vibhushan. Okay, 2021 he received the second highest civilian award. Then recently, before he passed away, he was the chairman. Okay, he was the chairman of India-Japan Association. So these facts may be asked in the question paper. So please make a note out of it. Please look at it. Okay, and also please read these two articles. These two articles. They just give a detail about the contribution of Shinzo Abe to the India-Japan relationship. Okay. Then moving on. See, one important article, this was published by MOD, that is your Ministry of Defense. The article says that defense exports touch 13,000 crore. Okay, this is the first time. Okay, this is the first time that such a huge amount of exports has been done from India relating to defense. So it is a major news. Okay, it is a very major news. Here, there is one thing. There are two things that you have to note. That is US. Okay, US is the biggest importer. US is the biggest importer of Indian arms. Okay, whatever the supplies we are doing here, mainly it is done to the US. Secondly, the defense export, okay, that we are doing here, according to this report, so 90% of it, I guess it is 90%, sorry, it is 70%. Okay, 70% is from private sector and 30% is from government sector. Okay, so this is a very big achievement considering that previously most of the defense export was done from the government sector, but this year, according to this report, it says that 70% of the exports, whatever we are doing, it is through the private sector. Okay, these are the two facts that you have to take out from this article. Then moving on, so this article came in the sports page. Please don't ignore the sports page. We saw in 2021 question paper, prelims question paper, there were 3 sports related questions that were asked. Okay, that is very rare coming from UPSC to be asking something about sports. So please don't ignore it. Just read about it. Just have a glance. Whatever the news is being given. So this news was about the sports ministry is launches digital access to welfare schemes. Okay, so whatever welfare schemes are to be provided for the sports personnel, the sports personnel can access it digitally now. Okay, so one of the scheme that is mentioned here is the National Sports Development Fund. Okay, so the question may come that when was this established, who is the head of this fund and all. Okay, so this becomes important. I hope you make a note out of it. So National Sport Development Fund, so this was established in 1998. Okay, the purpose, what is the purpose? Mainly the purpose of its creation was to impart momentum and flexibility in assisting the cause of the sport. Here one thing you have to note is that this gives opportunity, okay, to train under the coaches of international repute. Okay, so this fund, it gives facility such that the sports persons can take the coaching from the international coaches as well. The thing, okay, what is important here is the fund. The fund is managed by a council constituted by the central government. Okay, so sometimes UPSC may confuse you by saying the fund is managed by the Ministry of Sports, or it may say that it is managed by the Sports Secretary, but that may be the wrong answer. The accurate answer is that the fund is managed by a council constituted by the central government here. Okay. Lastly, who is the chairperson? The chairperson is Union Minister in charge of Youth Affairs and Sports. Okay, these are the few points that you have to note. Moving on. So moving on, again this is from the editorial section. So there was this beating the heat. Okay, this is about your HAP. Okay, that is your cooling action plan. Okay, also as heat action plan. Okay, so here we did analysis of yesterday's article where a report came out that said that the monsoon temperatures on an average are higher than the summer temperature. Okay, so this is a cause of concern mainly in the urban area. Why? There is one concept again here called as urban heat island. Okay, what is urban heat island? Urban heat island is that, see, the heat, okay, the heat that is generated during the summer, it is not able to escape the structures that are built in the cities. Okay, the concrete structures, okay, please remember concrete structure. Okay, so the concrete structure, they are not able to dissipate, or the heat, it is trapped among this concrete structure. What happens is that the temperature is rising artificially. Okay, this island, it is very unique to urban areas. It is not found in the rural areas. Okay, so urban heat island, this is another phenomenon associated with the heating. Okay, the overall increase in the temperature that is happening in the urban area. Now coming back to this HAP, that is your heat action plan. So this is being taken up by the NDMA, that is your National Disaster Management Authority. This National Disaster Management Authority, it comes under Ministry of Home Affairs. Okay, it is being established under Disaster Management Act of 2005. Okay, so what are the steps taken here? The NDMA, okay, the NDMA, it is trying to have a heat action plan with 25 out of 28 heat prone states. Okay, it is trying to have a heat action plan with 25 out of the 28, sorry, it is 23, sorry about it. It is 23 out of 28 heat prone states. What are the steps taken here? The steps are taken here are to reduce the stress, that is built up in already constructed buildings. Okay, so the already constructed buildings that are there, the huge structure, the concrete structure, they are the sources of this artificial heating. So the NDMA is trying to build a plan through which the stress that is being built up through these concrete structure, it is trying to reduce it. Secondly, it is trying to build indoor cooler. Okay, indoor coolers. So NDMA is trying to have trying to provide materials which will help to build this indoor coolers. Lastly, it is trying to have a early warning system. Okay, so this early warning system is very important. If the NDMA, it is aware of how the temperature will be, how much temperature will be, by this early warning system, it will help greatly to manage the urban heat island. Okay, now what are the steps? Okay, what are the steps that can be taken way forward? Okay, way forward, when we look at it, firstly, okay, financial incentives through budget. Okay, the article says that the government, okay, through budgets has to provide for financial incentives to build these HAPs, okay, heat action plan, to develop those. The government should give financial incentives. The financial incentives here can be used to build indoor coolers, okay, early warning systems, or sometimes what happens is there is no proper government facilities to treat stroke patients. Okay, one of the main hazards of your heating is that stroke. Okay, so if financial incentives are given, such facilities can be developed where these heat stroke patients can be treated. Okay, secondly, vulnerable location and population can be recognized using GIS or satellites data. Okay, so using the geological survey data or using the satellite data, predictions can be made of where these heat urban islands can be developed, and early measures can be taken to stop these, to prevent or to take measures to stop this heat island to develop. Thirdly and lastly, integration of climate data. Okay, so integration of climate data, we have the IMD. Okay, IMD predictions that happen every year about how much heat is going to be, how much temperature is going to be present in the urban area, and how the monsoon is going to be, how much monsoon, how much rain, precipitation we are going to happen in our country. So when we integrate all these data, all the climatic data, when we integrate it, we can take early measures and prevent strokes, the conditions of strokes and other hazards that happen due to this urban heat island, as well as the overheating that happens because of the climate change. One of the thing the article points out is that see, the steps that the government is taking, it is taking mainly for the rural areas. Okay, the steps that it is taking mainly for the rural areas, and the planning, okay, the planning of the infrastructure and housing, if it is planned, if the government comes out with directions about how the planning of the infrastructure and housing can be made, which can release this artificial heat, if these all are included in our planning, the planning may work out well, and we may come out of the heat that is developing because of the climate change. It is high time that the government acts on this, because we are seeing, okay, the reports are being published, we are aware of it, we are aware of our surrounding as well, how much the temperature are rising abnormally nowadays. Okay, climate change is real, the government has to take various steps on this. So this was our today's analysis of the newspaper. You can follow us on the social media handles. You can follow us on YouTube, as well as the Telegram, Instagram and Facebook, that will be displayed at the last. Okay, thank you.